science and religion generally have vastly different agendas. One of the great biblical archaeological mysteries is the final resting place of Noah's Ark. Now, scientists believe they found new evidence of its final resting place. According to the Bible, following the worldwide flood, Noah's Ark came aground on the mountains of Ararat. Thousands of years later, scientists believe they have uncovered new evidence. One of the biggest issues behind searching for Noah's Ark is how it inconsistently lines up with science. Outside of evangelical historians, scientists have a major issue with theories behind the flood. They consistently point to a major lack of evidence in the soil of a worldwide flood. If a flood were to wipe out the earth, then we should be able to see evidence of those water levels in the soil. In addition to the lack of evidence in the soil, scientists question the flood myth due to DNA evidence. In the story of Noah and the flood, Noah is instructed by God to bring his family on board the massive ark as well a few of each animal. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. If his family were the only survivors of the flood, we would be able to trace DNA genealogy back to this one family over 4,600 years ago, since they were responsible for repopulating Earth. How did Noah survive the biblical storm? Outside of an act of God. He needed quite the ship to survive a storm so massive that it wiped out the world while also protecting himself and a zoo's worth of animals. The ark was absolutely massive, as God gave Noah the necessary dimensions for the ship. Noah's ark was 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits tall. That is the equivalent of 450 x 75 x 45 feet. It had 3 decks inside. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to step inside Noah's Ark? Fortunately, life-sized replicas exist, giving you the chance to see its massive scale. In July 2016, a creationist group called Answers in Genesis opened Ark Encounter, a theme park, in Grant County, Kentucky. The park is housed inside a life-sized version of Noah's Ark. It has received plenty of criticism for breaking the separation between church and state for the tax incentives it receives. Not only did God tell Noah to bring his family on board, but also he instructed him to bring along everything necessary to restart life following the flood. This included bringing enough animals with him. According to the Bible, he was told to bring a pair of each unclean animal and 7 pairs of the clean animals. This has been interpreted as what would be considered as kosher and non-kosher in the Jewish faith. Once the flood subsided, the animals could then freely roam again. One group called Noah's Ark Ministries International has devoted itself to uncovering the truth behind Noah's Ark. The Hong Kong-based organization has led multiple expeditions in search of evidence, drawing both support and criticism. While some experts question their methods and conclusions, others believe their work may hold value. An Ark hunter from California even suggested they may have identified a key clue to the Ark's final location, raising hopes that answers could be within reach. Despite the excitement, past discoveries have often been discredited. Over the years, numerous claims about the Ark's remains have failed under scrutiny. In 1955, a French explorer reported finding a wooden beam beneath a glacier on Mount Ararat. Though initially dated to around 5,000 years old, he later admitted the beam had been taken from a nearby village, casting doubt on the claim. Debates over the Ark's resting place add further uncertainty. While many historians point to Mount Ararat, early Syrian traditions placed it on Mount Judi. Ancient accounts, including those referenced by Josephus, described remains being shown at a place of descent associated with this region. Armenians themselves linked the Ark to Mount Judi for centuries before shifting toward Ararat. With so many conflicting traditions, the true location remains unclear. Even so, interest in the Ark has not faded. The Geoscience Research Institute once organized a symposium in Turkey near Mount Ararat, bringing together over 100 researchers to examine the evidence. Among them were individuals convinced they had found answers. Yet skepticism persists. Oxford historian Nicholas Purcell questioned the plausibility of a flood covering vast regions, while established civilizations like Egypt and Mesopotamia continued uninterrupted, dismissing such claims outright. Disagreements extend beyond location. Some creationists argue that the Ark could not have landed on Mount Ararat at all, claiming the mountain formed after the flood. These debates reflect broader differences in how religious traditions interpret the story. In Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and the Baha'i Faith, the account holds deep significance, though each offers unique perspectives. Christian scholars often link Noah's survival to themes of salvation, while Islamic descriptions portray the Ark as a vessel shaped like a bird's belly. Others view the narrative symbolically, rather than literally. Throughout history, scholars have attempted to describe the ark in detail. Medieval writers like Alfonso Tostada documented its structure extensively, while later thinkers such as Johannes Buteo calculated its dimensions. These efforts influenced generations of interpretations, shaping how people imagine the vessel. The story's enduring appeal has also inspired modern retellings. Films and popular culture have reimagined Noah's journey, bringing the ancient narrative to new audiences. Yet even older stories suggest the flood myth may predate the Bible. The Sumerian tale of King Ziusudra, recorded in Nippur around 1600 BCE, tells of a man building a boat to save life from divine destruction, closely paralleling the story of Noah. Beyond historical questions, the story raises deeper philosophical ones. Science seeks to explain how events occur, while religious texts often explore why they happen. In this sense, the story of Noah is not only about a flood, but also about meaning, purpose, and divine intention. Explorations of Mount Ararat date back centuries. In 1829, Friedrich Parrott climbed the mountain and recorded local beliefs that the ark still rested at its summit, protected from human access. Such convictions have persisted, despite the lack of definitive proof. Modern expeditions continue the search. In 2010, a team associated with Noah's Ark Ministries International claimed to have discovered wooden structures on Mount Ararat, suggesting possible remains of the ark. However, skepticism followed, as with many earlier claims. Other sightings, including reports from pilots who believed they saw the ark from the air, were later attributed to natural rock formations. One enduring interpretation views the ark as a symbolic representation of the world itself. Described as having 3 levels, it mirrors the ancient Hebrew concept of the universe: the heavens above, the earth in the middle, and the waters below. In this view, the ark becomes more than a vessel of survival. It reflects a recreated world, preserving life through destruction. One of the mysteries surrounding Noah's Ark is working out exactly what material it was made from. According to the King James Version of the Bible, the ark was made from gopher, wood. However, since no tree today bears that name, verifying this claim is difficult. Some theorists believe the term may have been mistranslated, which is why the New International Version instead refers to cypress wood. This uncertainty reflects a broader pattern of ambiguity within the story. Although many people believe Noah was instructed to bring 2 of each animal onto the ark, biblical passages suggest otherwise. One account describes 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, and 7 pairs of every kind of bird. This interpretation raises the possibility that far more animals were present than commonly assumed. The exact number of animals aboard the ark remains a subject of debate. Some estimates suggest millions, while others argue for far fewer, perhaps around 16,000. Skeptics question how such large numbers could have been accommodated, considering the limited space needed for human survival as well. Mount Ararat, often associated with the ark, is the tallest peak in Turkey and a dormant volcano. Its connection to Noah's story has made it a sacred symbol, particularly in Armenian culture, where it even appears on the national coat of arms. This association has drawn explorers and researchers for generations. Ancient historians, such as Josephus, place the ark's resting site in the region of Armenia, a view echoed by several early scholars. However, not all agreed on this exact location. Over time, various interpretations have emerged, each contributing to the ongoing mystery. Accounts from famous travelers further fueled the legend. Marco Polo described a vast mountain in Armenia, believed to be the resting place of Noah's Ark, emphasizing its immense size and the difficulty of traversing it. Such descriptions reinforce the idea that the Ark lay hidden in a remote and formidable landscape. The story of a great flood is not unique to the Bible. The Epic of Gilgamesh, an ancient Mesopotamian text, recounts a remarkably similar narrative, with events unfolding in nearly the same sequence. This resemblance has led many scholars to believe that the biblical account may have earlier origins in Mesopotamian traditions. Another challenge is determining where the flood fits within Earth's history, particularly in relation to the Ice Age. Scientists define this period by long-term climatic conditions, rather than a simple presence of ice, adding complexity to attempts to align geological evidence with the biblical timeline. Personal testimonies have also added intrigue, though, often lacking reliability. One Armenian man claimed to have seen the Ark as a child, yet inconsistencies in his story weakened its credibility. Such accounts highlight how difficult it is to separate fact from folklore. Many scholars argue that the story of Noah did not originate solely from the Bible. Instead, They point to multiple flood narratives from Mesopotamia, suggesting a shared cultural memory of a catastrophic event. The concept of a global flood appears more prominently in later historical periods, further complicating efforts to trace its origins. Regardless of these uncertainties, the story of Noah remains one of the most well-known biblical narratives. In Genesis chapters 6 through 9, Noah is depicted as a righteous man chosen by God to survive a devastating flood intended to cleanse the world of corruption. If you were to ask someone about the ark's final resting place, they are likely to give the same answer. In Genesis, it tells the story of Noah's Ark and its final resting place on the mountains of Ararat. This leads many to believe that the evidence of the Ark will be found in a place which today bears the same name. It has become the center of the legend which we continue to try and solve.